Hey guys, wanted to bring you another YouTube video. Now that it's been almost, well, not 24 hours yet, but close to it, uh, to be able to reflect of the Niners and Lions game, the NFC Championship game. That it was the most stressful and unbelievable game I've seen. I would say, definitely up there. But the way your emotions with the roller coaster as a Niners fan and a Lions fan, I definitely could understand with the Petrum because obviously one team's going to be heartbroken. I felt like the Lions were probably on cloud nine on the first half and thought they had it. I thought they had it too, to be honest, because the way they were moving up and down the ball field, and they were definitely taking advantage of the weakness for the Niners' run defense. But then second half, that's why you have these different halves. It was a tale of two different halves. The Niners came out, especially with that first drive, like, oh man, I don't know if they're going to win this still because you just got a field goal. But obviously you're down three possessions, so but down 14, and then to get that fumble a strip from Gibbs, momentum definitely changed. And I think, like I said, looking back, the Lions should have still won. Because if Dan Campbell, honestly, but that's his nickname, Gamble. Dan Gamble on those field goals and field goal, on fourth downs and kicked the field goal, they would have won. They would have been going to the Super Bowl. Um, and everybody would have not said it's not rigged or anything because a lot of friends were like, "Oh, this is rigged" after what happened with the Chiefs and Ravens, and I'm like, "How can you say that when everybody was thinking because of the Super Bowl logo, colors were the Ravens and the Niners?" And I'm like, I don't believe that, but hey, that was just coincidence this last couple seasons. Well, Ravens were eliminated. And then they're like, well, it's rigged because the Chiefs, they want Taylor Swift to have the ratings and boost up the ratings. They don't need the ratings for the Super Bowl with Taylor Swift. And so they're like, well, maybe they want Eminem versus Taylor Swift. Dude, both games, you have to execute. And I think it was a prime example of who's been there and has the experience because this is not the best Chiefs team. That, like I said, as a Niners fan, and I think Lions, they were probably hoping that they were going to face the Chiefs over the Ravens because if you had regular season Ravens, the way they were dominating against the Niners and Lions, we didn't feel like we had a shot. I think we have a shot, to be honest, against Patrick Mahomes. I put a bet on it. So I took, once the lines open, I took the -1 for the Niners. I know people are like, I'm betting on Patrick Mahomes. I'm betting on the Chiefs because I believe in them after this run. Sure, you can, but they have a hard. They had a harder run. The Niners made it harder on themselves, to be honest. I think because they definitely have the talent. They should have never been in the position. I know there was bad weather against the Packers, and then to be down 17 points in the second half, that was really rough. But I was really low. Like, oh man, this is really rough. Like, they were on pace to get 500 yards on the Niners. That was ridiculous. And then things flipped. That momentum. There was no listening from Dan Campbell. He didn't mention anything about analytics. He was trying to take the upper hand. I appreciate his honesty also. And then him saying to his team, you don't know if this was the only opportunity or how many opportunities you really have, which is true. And so that is very difficult because, like, growing up as a kid, last Super Bowl for the Niners, I thought this was standard, like getting Super Bowls every couple of years or every year. But I could say the Cowboys fans probably feel the same way. Like, they didn't think they're going to be waiting this long to get another Super Bowl, or even sniff or go to the Super Bowl for the Cowboys. So I appreciate the Niners being able to go to the Super Bowl last 3 times out of 10 years. But we got to get one finally, man. And like I said, that Ravens, so kind of go off tangent, like the one with the Colin Kaepernick versus the Niners of that year versus pretty much the Harbaugh Bowl. I mean, that was a heartbreaker. That was close. That was literally close off Michael Crabtree. So that was the first Niners Super Bowl loss. And then again, we were up 2010 against the same Kansas City Chiefs. I feel like after hearing Kyle Shanahan and some of the players that were from part of that Super Bowl, they feel like they have unfinished business. And I'm just going to give you some crazy things. Like I said, Brock Purdy, I had my ups and downs with him. He's definitely showed some grit on showing that he can come back after 2 tough situations back to back in these playoffs. You really don't want to start too far or too late with the Chiefs, I feel like, because they do have a good defense. Their secondary is good. I feel like you want to have some Christian McCaffrey, play action, run the ball. I know he might have got hurt towards the end of the game, but you definitely have Elijah Mitchell. You should throw him in there. You got a lot of weapons. You got to use everybody. There's no tomorrow against the Chiefs. But this could build legacy and get everybody off Brock Purdy's back by winning the Super Bowl. He's the 3rd youngest quarterback to ever start for the Super Bowl. Another crazy stat, he has the potential to be the 5th quarterback to win a Super Bowl out of their first 2 years. So he has a chance to write his history and leave a legacy. And then he would be, Colin Kaepernick had a chance to be part of the Niners Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks, because there's only 2 still in my books. Steve Young and Joe Montana. The standard is you got to win a Super Bowl as a quarterback. Jimmy G had his chance. Colin Kaepernick has his chance. Is 3rd time the charm with Brock Purdy? That's the real question. I think it is. I think it's set up perfectly for the Niners. And I've also said Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant and was drafted here in Las Vegas that year when the draft took place here in Las Vegas. He has a chance to win the Super Bowl here in Las Vegas. So he has a lot riding, but I feel like he could be up to the challenge. So let me know what you think. I'm sorry, Lions fans. I feel really bad for you. I know it's really going to be hard, especially you got the Packers up and coming. That division's kind of tough. It's going to be interesting with the Bears because they could be up and coming too, depending on how they handle the draft. And then you got the Vikings. They've been good last couple years. So, yeah, that could have been their chance. And they might be blaming Dan Campbell for this. And then also, just like Pete Carroll, he lost that team where they were expected to go and win the Super Bowl with Marshawn Lynch. Should have ran the ball, but threw the pick with Russell Wilson. That ruined, I felt like, their dynasty. That could ruin a team if that team does not believe in their coach. I think they still will, because that's how they got there. But playoffs and regular season is totally different. It's so situational. So, one man's mistake is our treasure, because his mistake gave us momentum and gave us a chance to get back in the game. So go ahead and hit that like button. Sorry, Lions fans. Hopefully you guys could get back there to where you guys, maybe we'll meet more in the playoffs. Build up a potential rivalry there. Would be fun. And yeah, I mean, I really feel bad, especially the older generation, 67 plus, since 1957, since you guys won a championship. So, and that's before the NFL era. So, again, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so, and together we can build better tomorrow. Thanks again.